You are now listening to the Durp Show Podcast. The Durp Show Podcast. I am Big Ern. Come on, let's take a listen. And welcome everybody to the Durp Show Podcast. This is episode number 9. I got a very special guest in the building, in studio right now. His name is Money Mike. Say what up.
What's up?
All right, so I've known this guy for years, literally since we were like kids, like toddlers.
Yeah.
Because there's a rumored picture of us, I guess, graduation day, preschool. Do you remember any of that?
Yeah, honestly, man, you know, anything from the past like that when I was a little kid? No. Probably third grade is probably the most I'll remember for that.
So one of my first memories from Money Mike is 5th grade. We had this horrible teacher. I think he's a horrible teacher even to this day, Mr. Dragula. And I remember, I think it was the first day of school, and they made us like line up at a certain spot if you had this class. But you were standing either in front or behind me, and you turned around and you're like, hey, wouldn't it be crazy if the G was replaced with a C and we'd be in Mr. Dracula's class? And I thought it was pretty funny. So I remember you from back then. Do you remember any of 5th grade?
Honestly, dude, probably 5th grade was probably my best year over there in Gavlan. I love Mr. Dragula, dude.
You loved him?
I love that dude, man. You know what? Probably because he took me to Carl's Jr.
That's kind of...
It sounds kind of crazy, but he used to have this thing where he would divide us into groups.
He did, yeah.
And it would be like Group A, Group B, Group C, and then obviously Group D. And it would all be based off of actual grades, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I thought he was pretty cool. He did give me a lot of, food things, like rewards and stuff like that for grades. So I thought he was really cool.
No, he was a total douche, bro. Did you ever hear that rumor that, like, in Halloween, somebody egged his house, and then he chased after him down the street, and he tied him up, like, maybe, like, 2 years before we had his classroom. But I heard that was a rumor because he lived in town, and I know where he lived. I don't know if he still lives there, but I knew the house. Did you hear any of that?
Yeah, no, I did. But, I mean, all I really know is that the dude was a clown, you know what I mean? That was his side job.
Yeah,
so...
This is a rodeo clown?
No, he was literally he was an entertainer, like one of those clowns that he'd do balloons and all that stuff. So honestly, I thought he was really cool, but at that time I didn't know those rumors until like after.
Yeah.
So
he was a complete douche. I remember one time he was like the only teacher that said he was gonna I was in potential of like being held back. The only teacher I've ever had. So fuck that dude.
Who knows, man? Maybe he was a pedophile like Mr. Grennan.
So then came middle school, and you gotta admit, middle school was wild, dude. For us, it was wild. Main Street Middle School has some of the better memories. I don't know why, but I remember crazy. Literally, people would take shits in the sink. You gotta admit, in that restroom in the middle, you know what I'm talking about? The one that's in the actual hall.
I think I remember
like the first wing.
I remember a few people, like, those bad apples, you know what I mean? They always used to get in trouble, and I remember them even, like, sometimes even dealing some drugs in there at that age.
Dude, we had lockers before they had...
We did.
Take them out. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember those lockers, dude.
And then they would... Yeah, that's where they would find the drugs. We were 12, bro.
I didn't even know what the hell weed was, man.
It was ridiculous. It was a lot of... Like, we grew up. That was the awkward stage of a lot of us. We all grew up during that time. Then came high school. Me and you weren't really chilling, but we never had any past beef or anything.
You know what? In high school, it was kind of weird for me because I kind of transitioned from, like, being this dude that used to play in band and stuff like that, Then, I did kick it with the wall a lot, because of my cousins and whatnot. But I remember kicking it with you, Solomon, what's his name? Dude? Antonio, a couple other heads. I remember, from time to time.
All right, describe the wall, because the wall is infamous, and you guys were rolling deep back in high school. Describe the wall.
The wall, man, the wall. So basically, they call it the wall for a reason. Obviously, it's not just because of its, the physical form of it, but, people used to actually line up at that wall, leaning up against it on both sides, both like parallel, both ends, and then, people would just chill the whole time, and then everybody would just be having lunch standing up like that. Like, that was just the spot. And it's crazy because, it was basically, here were the main guys. My cousin, just because he was like a gangster at that time. You know what I mean? And then we used to have Peter, Big Pete, man.
Big Pete.
Shout out to Peter, man.
He's family.
Yeah, I've known that guy forever. I still watch wrestling. I used to watch wrestling with him at his house, and he probably remembers that once he hears this, But it was big, Peter, and then Denise. Denise, you remember China, right? Yeah. Okay, so she was like, those were all the cool heads right there, and then obviously everybody else was just kind of everybody else, you know what I mean? So no one really stood out other than them. But I remember these times where we would be watching wrestling a lot, besides like the crop shots and all that stuff. I remember there used to be this thing where if you weren't covering your neck, Peter, Denise, myself, and even Chivo at times, it's Alex, if you guys don't know, they would actually grab you by your throat, and then this was the rule. If they grabbed you by your throat, you had to jump, like if they were actually going to choke slam the hell out of you. And I thought that was the most hilarious shit I've ever seen. The same thing with the rock bottom. So I don't know if you guys know any of those moves, but like Peter and China, those guys made that infamous. And the wall has a lot of other stuff. So, do you recall any of this?
A lot of stories. So, what the wall was probably the biggest, like, most concentrated, like, chill spot out of the whole high school. You guys must have had like 20 heads. If somebody was gonna roll through, they had to say what's up to everybody. So, anyway, high school, you were chilling there. I had my bench. Now, my bench consisted of a very good friend. Shout outs to Eric. Anyways, so I was a part of that bench, and you're really good friends with him, especially post-high school.
Yeah.
So after post-high school, we all graduated and whatnot. I went to UC Riverside. Eric and you and a few other heads went to local. You stayed here in Monterey State.
Yeah, CSUMB.
CSUMB.
Yeah, well, as far as Eric, you know what I mean? I've known that guy for quite a while, and we kind of linked up through you guys. Mostly Salomon, you know what I mean? Like, I honestly, like, Salomon was kind of like the cool person who, like, he would talk to everybody at that time.
So we all kind of went our separate ways. You still kept in touch with a few people. I mean, what happened after high school for you?
Honestly, man, I was actually going to go to CSU Sacramento, with Martin Pisano. I'm sure if you guys know him as Chueco. I ended up going to CSUMB, CSU Monterey Bay.
That you were trying to go to Sacramento.
But I ended up going to CSUMB, and I found out that Eric, you know what I mean? I actually had him in my pre-calculus class in my junior year, and that's when we kind of started talking. And as a matter of fact, we did I still remember that one foreign girl that used to talk funny, and then the other Eric kind of dated her. Garza? Yeah, she had a big ass. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so me... Hey, you could leave it, man. I don't care. Okay. Yeah, I don't talk to any of those people anymore. It's whatever. I don't mind.
Like, I was cool with like a lot of people. I think I get overlooked a lot because I was also kind of quiet back then. After high school, would you say that you came up, like, just like in general, like your self-esteem, like did things start changing for you? Because, like, no offense, like we were all, in my opinion, we were all late bloomers. Like in high school. Like, I don't think there was a small percentage of us, but not everybody was getting laid. Not everybody, knew what the hell was going on.
Yeah, everybody said they were, but no, we all knew no one was.
No, like, well, the thing is, back in high school, I still thought of myself like as a little kid. I didn't trip out that I wasn't getting girls. It wasn't in my mind. So, like, things have changed from that point. It's been 7 years, dude.
7 years, almost 8.
It's almost 8 by the end of this year. So many of our classmates are married, have kids, and not to say that we're like a failure at that, because it all depends. Everybody goes at their own speed. The way I see it is like I still haven't started. Like, I still trying to jumpstart it.
Yeah. As far as me, right after college, like you're mentioning, my self-esteem, morale, and everything really did kind of bloom out. You know what I mean? I wasn't really too focused at school, to be honest with you. I was kind of focused more on getting a career started. So right after high school, like I would say, when I was in college, I started kind of dieting, and I kind of had this thing in my head, and I just decided one day, you know what, fuck it, let me go work out. So while I had time in the morning when I was actually going to college, I used to have time in the morning for like 9 to 12. At that time, I actually enrolled on a 7-day pass for Gold's Gym on Constitution in Salinas. Over there, dude, I saw so many people that were in great shape. It just like literally motivated me just going in there. And wouldn't you know, dude, fuck, well, 7-8 years almost later, dude, probably not the best shape of my life, but still I'm in great shape, in my honest opinion. And
it is so ridiculous. The transformation you went through, everybody gives you props, do they not?
They do, and actually it always feels good to hear that, and thanks, for saying that. Honestly, like I don't see myself perfect, because I don't think I'll ever will, but I do appreciate the compliment. But it was a huge transformation, man. It's not something easy, and you say you're kind of going through through something similar yourself.
Yeah, so I talked to this guy just a few minutes ago. So basically what I'm doing is I'm dieting for the very first time to ever lose weight. Like I've always been a big guy, like a big husky guy, but I don't think I was the biggest guy personally. I don't think I was the biggest guy back in high school. No. I mean, I was chubby, but there was a lot of us who were.
Me.
Just a few people. Yeah. So for the first time ever in my life, I'm trying to like eat right, trying to lose weight, and I've actually seen results. It's only been 10 days and I've already seen results, which is kind of crazy. And what I did was I did all my research. I tried to go directly to the source, figure out what types of enzymes your body should produce to break down fat, to use that, because fat is only stored energy and your body needs to know that it's okay to use that stored energy and then use it, and that's how you slim down. Because it's different if you're building muscle. You gotta constantly work out, and then you gotta up your calorie intake because you're constantly working out, so you need the thing. I'm just trying to slim down. It's a big challenge. There's some, like, I get cravings, but I'm so determined. I've never been so determined in my life than right now. Like, I can do it. Like, watch me do it. Like, I know I can. It's going to be difficult, but not impossible. If people can do it, I can do it too. There's nothing stopping me. So I got the motivation behind me to go with it. The end game is kind of, after I drop all this weight, is to go to the doctor's office, get a physical, and have them come back and be like, well, your cholesterol's a little too high, but other than that, you're all good. I just want them, because when I'd go take a physical, they'd always say, yeah, you're just overweight. And I'd be like, all right, well, what else is new? Because I expected it.
Honestly, dude, you really gotta, do it for yourself. And I kind of already noticed the difference. I haven't seen you in a while. It's been a couple months, so for you doing it only a few weeks, you said, it's 10 days, you know what I mean? Yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah, dude, and you're gonna drop it quick. The thing is that you're gonna get motivated naturally. Now it's gonna be kind of like an addiction. It's really cliche, dude. But it's really cliche when people say that's an addiction, but it's true. It just became a habit. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of in the mode you're at. So once you finish off these cravings, trust me, once you eat a fucking pizza or a candy bar or anything, you're going to be like, what the fuck? Even your stomach's going to tell you. It's going to be like, dude, what the hell did I just eat? You know what I mean? So it's going to come naturally to you. And I think you're doing a great job in kind of actually being not only motivated, but being disciplined about it. Because that's the biggest key, honestly. So I think if you'd keep up what you're doing right now, aside from the fasting, I've never been a fan of fasting, just because you would lose muscle that way, muscle tissue. I understand, you're trying to drop the weight, but there's certain, there's different types of ways for everybody, and I'm not saying it just because of what I did or anything like that, but if this works for you, dude, by all means,
When I was younger, like my stomach was a tank. Throw anything at me at any time during the day. I'm not allergic to any food. I can handle. Like, I'll just shit it out later. It was just boom, boom, throw pizza, throw, and I love pizza. Throw hamburgers, throw fries, and which I love. But I would never like overeat. I never thought I would overeat until these last few years. It's really started. That's not the first time it's happened to me. I think it happened to me back in 2013, where I threw up again. And just completely, like, throwing up's never fun. Like, it's just never, like, when you throw up, you realize how not fun it is. It's all that stomach acid lining coming up through your throat. It's just making you feel horrible, and you lose so much water from it. So it really put me in perspective, and I fell asleep for a few hours, and I still woke up feeling shit. And I was like, you know what? I gotta start from the beginning, gotta look it up, gotta do my research, gotta cherry pick what everybody, and that's why supposedly if you fast for 48 hours, that's when you start your body starts naturally adapting to it and start burning the extra fat, and that's how you slim down real quick. Now 48 hours is extreme, and they don't recommend it unless, you know, so that's why I'm doing 24. And when I do 24, that's so it can clean your stomach lining, so it can clean anything that's stuck in your small or large intestine.
Yeah, no, and it's like I said, it's going to become a habit. So, you know, once you do it enough, it's just going to naturally just come to you. But, you know, as for me, you know, I was kind of in the mode of just lifting and working out. As a matter of fact, you know, I used to weigh 250, dude, and I lost 50 pounds in 1 month. All I did, literally, like, all I ate was chicken fillet, and a steak. So it worked out for me, you know, in the end. But, you know, it's just about doing it. You know what I mean? It's not, I didn't get where I was or where I am, you know what I mean? Just not, you know, being disciplined about it.
Yeah, and I want to give you your props because this is what, maybe 2007, 2008? When did you really?
2008.
So let's say 2008 is when you started like hitting the weights and, you know, really watching what you eat, and, you know, so you were on this whole health craze before everybody else because it's trending. It is a trending thing to do, to work out. There's gym memes all over the place. There's, you know, parodies and like funny videos of taking in gyms. The popularity of the gym has gone up. I mean, you've seen it everywhere, have you not?
Yeah, you know, social media, Instagram, you know, Facebook, you know, everywhere. There's a Vine for it, you know what I mean? And there's literally thousands, hundreds of thousands of gym memes, you know, pages and stuff like that.
Videos and all that stuff. And you were ahead of the curve. You were right there before it all started, before it became cool. You were on it, dude. And it's kind of a trip. You saw kind of a niche, and I don't want to say that you exposed it or anything like that. Maybe like you brought more popularity to it, don't you think?
Honestly, like, I never looked at it that way until you really just pointed it out right now. Being from Soledad, that I really never left, I think you're kind of right when people kind of noticed that I was losing weight and kind of being in shape. All
right, so another thing is, let's just call it for what it is. You pull chicks left and right, bro. You know, I do okay. Like, I'm more of the, I went to college and intellectual type, and I don't know why girls dig that. Or because it was so easy, dude. I didn't even try in college and I got laid. It was so easy. It was so ridiculous. Like, it's almost, to me, it was a trip. It was like, really? It's that easy? Like, I thought it was harder because not to say that the girls we went to high school are ugly, you know, or anything, but I just never saw them in that light. Like, we grew up together, especially for like a lot of us that grew up in this small town. You go through elementary, you go through puberty, you know, you see the changes. We all changed, and it's not that I wasn't attracted to him. It's just I never saw him like that. Then I went to, you know, college, and there's a plethora of girls everywhere, and they all want to be friendly to you, to me, and because they think they're adults. We all think we're adults. We're 18 years old, unsupervised, horny as hell. And it's just funny, but first I was like, what? It's that easy? Like, are you joking with me? Like, it's that easy?
Well, it is. I mean, it is now for me. You know what I mean? Dude, you know, all in high school, you know, I always used to like this girl, you know what I mean? She used to be a cheerleader, and obviously we all love the cheerleaders, right? This is the funny thing in high school that Salomon was there, as a matter of fact. You know, I'm sure he'll hear this someday, but he was in the class where this girl, I'll call her Jay, whatever. Okay? All right. So anyway, in high school, she was a little chubby, whatever, but she came up to the desk. This was in Miss Johnson's class, geometry. We were taking that stupid ass test where we do the scantrons. Anyway, she came up to the desk. It was me, Salomon, and a couple other dudes. She came up and literally asked me out in front of them. They're like, "Hey, you want to go to the movies?" And here I am, fucking idiot. I don't know what to say. I don't have a car.
Is that right? Is that the first thing you said?
That's the first thing I said. I do regret it. I ended up asking her out again. Unfortunately, it didn't quite, work out the way I kind of hoped to. But anyway, it played a big part of how I look now. To be honest with you, I think she liked me back then, but it made it even more clear to her, the way I look now. Especially, I was at GNC at the time, bro. Working out, and then here a manager at GNC. I wasn't making that much, but you work at a place where you need to look good. You know what I mean? So I kind of use that to my advantage.
So you got to start from the bottom up. Do you want to talk about like how you started from the bottom and how you kind of came up already? Like...
Yeah, no, it's I hope it's not too long, but I'll kind of go into detail.
You're very well spoken.
Thank you. Yeah, sometimes I talk a lot, kind of ramble on, go back and forth, but I've kind of found basically how to properly form a sentence to talk to a certain person. Like if you were to talk to a person, dude. This is the intimidating part when you talk to a rich person compared to someone not as educated, let's say. So when you talk to somebody not as educated, like they don't have a degree, they don't really know too much about
a street guy.
Yes, I don't want to be mean or anything, but yeah.
No. I think you can spot them out. They'll mostly talk to you in slang.
I guess you could call it oblivious. Or you can't call them ignorant because they just don't know. But anyway, if you talk to a certain person a certain way, if you see like, hey, come sign up for this service, we're going to do this for you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to cut the price in half, all this bullshit. And then be like, oh, really? Compared to a smart person, rich person, let's say, not smart, but rich person, they're really educated. Let's put it that way. They would literally say, all right, bro, what's your pitch? You know what I mean? And it would be really, really, really intimidating when people would say that to you because they already know you're trying to sell them something and they know you get commission. Compared to the other person, they don't know you get paid. Some of them do. A lot of them don't. You'd be surprised Anyway, they knew it was like, all right, why should I buy from you? Literally. And then, who's not going to get intimidated at that point? Luckily, I had an instructor who had actually trained me really well. And I was actually able to kind of just really get straight to the point with them. You know what, dude? This is what I can do for you. And it's not going to happen in a month or, if you want to try it out. I don't do tryouts. You either do it or you don't. So it kind of got me to where I needed to be at that point because if I wanted to deal with business to business or person to person marketing, I had to really just kind of deal with those people. And it was really good.
One, I hate people now. My soul has died a little bit because coming out of college where, you're respected, where we can all have a higher discussion, like even among us, like those were some of my best classes were us students chatting with the professor, like having an actual conversation with an adult, that to me, I loved those classes. And it was literally, I remember I stepped back one time and I was like, holy shit, this is college. This is what you're supposed to do. It's an open discussion. You're trying to discuss, like bring a new direction into this professor he's supposed to be teaching us. And yet we're teaching him, and it was like a group of us. So it wasn't just me. But I remember bringing up a few ideas for one of my classes. I remember thinking back like, wow, this is how it must be to be out in the real world. But then I moved back home and Salinas voted the second most uneducated city in the United States last year. It's a little ridiculous, but I don't blame them because you have a lot of immigrants, so they don't even go to school. So I can see why they would say it's uneducated. That's not to say they're not smart. They haven't been taught properly. I think that's what you said.
Yeah.
It's not at their fault of their own. So working, not to say it's a working class community, and not to say they're not respectable or any way, but sometimes they do the dumbest shit ever, and I'm just like, damn,
like, bro,
This is called the Durp Show, and I can say for certainty there were a lot of derp moments at both my jobs.
Yeah, there's definitely that was actually my first time working retail, so I did encounter a lot of stuff that I'd never seen before, you know. But stories aside, you know, within retail, you know, we can talk about that all day. Yeah, we could do another part on that. But I posted my resume on Career Builder. There, you can actually post resumes there, and this guy reached out to me, basically pitching his business. This is a California license, is a government program, and he reached out to me saying, "Okay, we're gonna start this company. I'm gonna say it, Budget Mobile." But in any case, basically the company's called Budget Mobile. This dude's literally like 6'5", you know, it's pretty intimidating, kind of pitching this in the interview. He's telling me all these things we're going to be doing. But he did mention there's a commission structure, this is salary, this is what we're going to do, this is what we want from you. So I actually ended up taking kind of a risk with that job. It was a really rewarding risk because I already knew Selena's being, you know, the type of people that it has, I was really going to be set up for success. And I took advantage of that. I actually ended up, you know, killing the market in Selena's, actually overshadowing Oakland, overshadowing Sacramento, overshadowing LA sales-wise. Yeah. So it led me to where I am today. And this is like where you guys are kind of, you know, preaching with me and
witnessing the power.
You guys are kind of preaching to me with this, and I really, it's admiring, and it makes me feel really good, you know what I mean, to say the least.
Well, we got to give props to where props due, you know.
Yeah, of course. And obviously this is where we all want to be. And so this is my story. I ended up in my position right now. I guess my title is California District Sales Manager. So this is for my company. So basically I run all the markets in Northern California. So, which is a huge, huge market, and I get commission for every single person that does any activation. Needless to say, you know, I am making a lot of money now. So right now I'm actually really, really good set up for success. And a lot of you guys, if you guys haven't seen my Instagram or my Facebook, it's Mikey Mouse. So it's Mikey and then MAU5 _. It's kind of like Dead Mouse, but you know, I kind of added my own twist on it.
I get it.
A lot of them are gonna be like, what the fuck? Anyway, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram. That's gonna be my handle, Mikey Mouse _. In any case, I've been staying at the Bay Area for about nearly a month now. So basically, they're paying me to go to the hotels, doing all this, and basically, I set up the marketing strategy. I provide the supplies, the cell phones, everything that's needed for doing activations. I'm in charge of for all in Northern California. So, you know, I've been staying up in the Bay Area. I've been taking advantage of the view, dude. I've been San Francisco, $400 a night for a hotel. It's fucking crazy. You know what I mean? And it's allowing me to travel, see places where I've never been. You know, so I'll be staying up in San Jose here for the next coming week, trying to find event locations, to kind of going over marketing strategy and whatnot.
Okay, so long story short, on your come up, you hustled, bro. You hustled for years, and now you're at this position. Are you like happy? Are you content? What's the end game here? Because you're making money. You're making more money than most of us want to admit.
You know, dude, I could say I'm happy with the income, but it gets to the point where the income doesn't really even matter because you're so busy. I don't want to say I've hustled more than, you know, this person or that person, but I've definitely found the motivation in myself to know what I want. I guess that's kind of like the end result is I know what the fuck I want. You know, excuse my language, but it is.
Say whatever you want. Nobody's listening. We have no advertisers, bro. You can say whatever you want.
As far as, you know, me, it's kind of an issue with being hungry and just doing what you got to do and kind of knowing what you want. And that was just kind of my motivation. I don't compare myself to anybody else. I know what I want in my life, and luckily I am where I am. But I can kind of see where other people are coming from with love and kids and stuff like that. You know, I felt a little tiny part of that, but it's not really my style. I kind of want to do things the right way first with my career, having all these things before I can have kids and actually being able to raise them how I want to raise them. You know, that's not the mentality that people have. They're just kind of going in day by day and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. You know, I don't believe in destiny. I don't believe in faith. Honestly, like faith is luck. I want to call it, you know, and if this job was faith, honestly, like 90% of it was luck. Because if I didn't take that risk, what the fuck? I'd still be at GNC, you know. At the end, dude, you know, it's all gonna be like I knew what I wanted, and I'm still hungry, and I'm excited to see, you know, where I'm gonna go on from here. But I appreciate all the props, you know, from everybody, you know, not just yourself, you know, but everybody else kind of asking me, you know, what I did, or you know,
give out your like Twitter handle and your Instagram or whatever you gotta give. Promote yourself. Go. Where can these kids find you online?
So I really don't like do that social media thing a lot. Like I don't add people I don't know, but in this case, you know, I'll make an exception. No, that's fine. I'll make an exception. It's fine. I don't really care anymore. I post a lot of shit anyway. You know, it's like you. I just post whatever. But Instagram, my Instagram's gonna be Mikey Mouse _. That's gonna be Mikey MAU 5 _ kind of like Dead Mouse. And Facebook, fuck, I don't even think I have a Money Mike 831. I guess the URL at the end. I don't know, but Mike Morales is my name, so you can look me up, and you know, I'm that big dude, so just find me.
All right, thanks, man. Thanks for being on the show. So lastly, this is me, Big Ern. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ezb14, but more importantly, check out the website ezb14.com. That's where I get the extra money. All right, guys, we out. Play that music.
Better.
Cooler than Coolio, stay in that studio. Flyer than Peter Pan when I'm pushing that Rufio. It's that Stone Mountain CEO. Wishing that you was me. Girls on a tour bus, keep that ratio 2 to 3. Flies, I'm on A-Town, put them up east side till I die like we don't give a fuck. Keep 'em out so shut, talk is cheap. We no been here, y'all been sleep. We no hot and you know this. Fuck the rest, we been chosen. Keeping up with these Joneses, still stuck with these hoses. So street like Elmo, so street like Elmo. Pino ain't the coldest, man, you funny like my elbow. Always on some other shit, stupid like my type of rich. Damn, what kind of life is this? I'm driven like some licenses. Let the head out when the beat go in. I'ma wait till the beat go in. We so sophisticated. Shout out to those who hate it. Kill a rapper, try and spit at me, that's suicide. Can't be known forever, and royalty is do or die. Do or die, 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 do or die. I'ma wait till the beat go in. I'ma wait till the beat go in.